So my brother's a rapper.
Shawty wanna play with time, I'm straight, not okay. Move with the stars on the roof and candy paint. Float away.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy JackPsd, and I am here with my guy Conley.
What's up, guys?
Yo. Glad to have you on the show. Hope you're
Yes,
enjoying
sir.
your day.
Glad to be here.
So let's start it off. All right, Mr. Conley.
Let's get it cracking.
Yeah, So what is something that you do in the music industry? Give us the spiel.
So I'm a rapper. I go by the name of Conley, for those who don't know. I am a recording artist. I record, mix, master, do a handful of my cover arts for some of my releases, and then, I've been doing it for about 3.5, almost 4 years now, so that's pretty much what I do in the industry.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, his cover arts are
I'm a
pretty fire.
rapper.
His cover arts are gonna replace me, no cap.
You lying.
Well, so you've said you've been in the industry for about 3 to 4 years now. What would you say you're most proud of so far in this journey?
Learning to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So like put myself in a situation where I know it's gonna be weird, but afterwards I'll be like, all right, I'm glad I did it. You know what I mean? Whether that's like making different style music, or like just meeting different people I didn't think I'd end up meeting. You know what I mean? And just kind of taking every opportunity as it is, and not thinking too much about it, and not like overthinking. So just kind of being like overcoming myself as a competitor and critic.
Yeah. What would you say has been your biggest struggle in accomplishing that?
My biggest struggle, that's a good one. Probably being overcritical, because I mean, anytime I listen to a song that I make, it's always like, how could I do this better? How could I do that better? And once I've listened to a song probably around 50 to 100 times, I'm like, oh, I'm done. This is dog water. I'm not releasing the song. But I've got to a point where now, once I listen to a song that's unreleased in the vault for like, let's say 100, 150 times, and it still hits as hard as it did the first time, like, oh, okay. Now I'm getting the sound I want, and it still sounds just as good as the first listen on the 150th or like 200th listen. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of having an open mind about it is kind of what's helped me overcome that struggle.
So
Yeah.
you're talking a lot about your vault and how you have a bunch of absolute heaters. Trust me, I'm
Yeah.
like best friends
Yeah.
with this guy. They're all fire. So do you have any like special plans for 2022?
So continuing to release a lot of singles, just keeping it consistent, making it hard for people to forget my name with how often I will be releasing. I have an album that'll be dropping towards early summer, late spring. So those are pretty much the plans, but I mean, just staying consistent, showing people that the sound's progressing, proving to myself that the sound's progressing, and just kind of establishing myself more as like a house artist, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, be ready for the album. Like all of them are heaters, smackers.
Rookie of the year. Oh man.
Oh, dude, the intro song. Oh, y'all boys better be ready.
Yeah.
So what made you really like start taking music seriously?
So a wee long time ago, whenever Cade was in high school, him and his friends would always go to like McDonald's or Taco Bell or something after school just to get some grub. And instead of just like listening to music on the way there, we'd play like type beats on the Bluetooth or the aux, and we take turns freestyling. And I mean, over time I noticed that I'd be the one that's freestyling more, and they're just kind of like sitting there.
Yeah.
So whenever I made my first song, and you've heard it, Came a long way.
Yes, sir.
After I made my first song, I just liked that, like, the idea of having a thought and then having it be a audio file that people can listen to that you made from start to, or made from scratch. So, but the time I took it seriously is after I was releasing this very subpar music on SoundCloud. Not even subpar. It was like, oh man, it was rough. I had some friends who were like, "Hey, I need these songs on like Apple Music or Spotify because I don't really use SoundCloud." And so that's when I started taking it a little more seriously, because I was like, "Oh, well, I need to make it available for other people to listen to as well. So if people want to listen to it on their respective apps, then I'll do it." So
Yeah.
once they asked for that, and I made my first music video for Something on Nothing, which was my first song to drop on all platforms, then I saw all like the hype behind it and all the support, and it's not just the support, but just the feeling of like people appreciating the work and just kind of like helping push you because they like seeing something that you're really passionate about. So yeah, that's like the turning point when I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, so here we are talking about some of your older stuff. Do you look back on some of your older songs and try and like think about remaking some of them, or did they generate ideas at all for your upcoming stuff?
I've been told a few times that I should remake a few of my songs, and I've thought of it. I haven't thought of it too heavily though, because that's a style that I was very experimental in. If I were to remake it, I don't know if I personally, again, as I said, I'm my biggest critic. I don't know if I'd personally like it as much as I'd want it to be if it were to be a remix. So
yeah,
I've thought of it, but I haven't thought of it too much to where I've tried it out. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say your favorite song has been that you've either worked on or completed yourself?
Oh God. That's like a good question, but a bad one, because every time that I make a song, it doesn't matter. Every time I make a new song, like, oh, this is like the best thing I've ever made. I'm not gonna record ever again. Like, this is the one. All right, cool. I'm done. I can retire. And then whenever I open FL again, it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But I'll give you 3 that I can like notably say are like really high on my list right now from the vault. I don't even know if I can give you 3. Oh, okay. Okay, so there's On My Side.
That one's nuts.
With a friend of mine. There's Starlight with another friend of mine.
Yes, sir.
There is Past This with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
There is what is, hold on, forgetting names and everything. Day One.
That one's gas.
And then Like That. So those are 5 that I'm like really excited to release, and like still don't get tired of listening to on like the 200th like listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. On My Side is probably my favorite from the list.
Oh my God!
So stay tuned. He's got a vault deeper than. Yeah.
Deeper than what, Jack? Deeper than what?
The ocean.
Good save. Good save.
Yes. So, since how you said those were your top 5, sticking with the number 5, how would you see yourself growing within this next 5 years?
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Good improv. I just honestly think in like 5 years from now, that I'll have an even better understanding of what my sound is. Whether that's I can expand it more, or really hone in on a certain style that I'm learning right now. But I mean, just meeting more people within the industry, making more connections, friends. I mean, having that slowly topple over and build into something that I can call like a fan base, and something like a support system that is bigger than what I have right now. That's what I see in these 5 years.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So looking back on what you mentioned earlier about how your top, like, 4 out of the top 5 are with your best friends and like people that
Yes.
you're really close with.
Yeah.
But would you say that you have a dream collab?
Yeah. Dream as in like big artists.
Anybody, a song that you
Anybody.
want with somebody that you are yet to get.
Yeah. Okay. One dream collab. I mean, I'm a big fan of his music. Is Polo G.
Yeah.
I like his music. I like how he can be either like a really hard rapper or be like really melodic. That with this new style, MGK for sure, sure.
Yes, sir.
And a person who like I grew up listening to, who I just want to have a song with to say I have a song with because I looked up to him and still do, is like Logic.
Mm-hmm.
Someone like him, or even Russ. Those are all like four or five notable artists that I look up to and kind of find inspiration and like motivation from, for like how they carry themselves, not only just from their music and how it's good, it's how they carry themselves as a person.
Yeah. How would you say that like their legacy that they have right now is impacting your either style of music or your daily life?
So Logic taught me that you don't like, how do I word this? Logic taught me that you shouldn't care what others think about you. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of people have a lot of opinions on him with what he says in his raps and like what race he is and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And so people are really judgmental of him about that. And he's taught me through, I mean, I even watched some like vlogs or interviews where he's just talking about like, just, it doesn't matter what people think about you. Just do you. If you're happy at the end of the day, just do you.
Right.
That's one. Russ, again, also is kind of honing in on like, just do you. Like, be yourself. Like, screw what anybody else thinks about you. Get your bag, and then people will start putting some respect on your name that weren't putting respect on your name earlier. And most importantly, prove yourself wrong. I mean, I know there's a lot of critics and there's a lot of talk that goes on in the industry that some rappers like to tend to. And from those two guys that I just mentioned, they just pretty much taught me to prove yourself wrong and tend to like your own personal competition instead of outsiders that are just trying to do the extra stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, looking at how like these people are affecting your day-to-day life and day-to-day thinking, what does your typical day entail?
All right, a day of Conley. Are you guys ready? So I wake up, I make some breakfast. It could either be Cheerios and a protein shake. It could be it could be peanut butter oatmeal and a protein shake. It could be peanut butter oatmeal and some scrambled eggs. But yeah, it's usually so I'm an athlete as well. I'm a high jumper, so my diet is typically a high diet and very like what's the word? Complex carbohydrate dense diet. So I usually have that in the morning. Whenever I'm in school, I usually have class between then and lunch. Lunch, I usually have some like chicken, rice, you know, some milk, some Greek yogurt, just something that tastes all right. It's not too bland. Mm-hmm. I have some my own spice to it, like honey, like the honey garlic seasoning from Walmart. That's pretty fire. Yeah. Enough about food. So after that, like I said, I'm a high jumper for my college, and I'm a senior this year. So I usually go to practice after that, and then whenever I'm not doing homework, track, or working at the restaurant, I'm making music, hanging out with my boys in the court, or hanging out with some friends IRL and just kicking it. So
yeah, busy guy. He does it all, literally.
Very busy man. Very busy man.
So, oh wait, I lost my question. Hold up, let me look at my page real quick. Oh,
heard.
Sorry. So, if you could change one thing about the music industry and the way that it's going right now, what would it be?
We've had a few conversations about this.
Yes, sir.
And even though I watched LeKay's interview, I was still not ready for this. All right. One thing I'd change about it is have it be more organic and not as fabricated.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Have it not be as more like, oh, you know this guy. Bet. Or instead of like that, it'd be like, oh, I heard this. I like it. I'm going to download it.
Yeah.
Instead of, because most artists that sound good, it doesn't matter if you sound good anymore. You have to have the image, you got to have the social following, you got to have these certain people that follow you, you got to be put on or connected with these certain people.
Yeah.
And then if you have all of those things, then somebody who runs into your song on like Release Radar or somewhere on the internet, they'll be like, oh, okay, I guess he's valid enough for me to follow him or to support him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, just not having to be as fabricated.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'd change.
So where do you see that like expanding, like that problem? Do you see that it's like getting a bigger issue for smaller artists, or do you think that it's like there's a way to deal with it?
I think the way to deal with it right now is TikTok, to be honest. Because TikTok, you can post on there as many times as you want, and regardless of how many followers you have and how many of those videos that all those followers see, if one of them pops and gets like, let's say 50k likes or something, all your followers are going to be real hyped, and even you're going to be hyped that one video popped, and all those 5 other videos that you made with the same song with the same type of video ain't going to care about that anymore. You know what I mean? So I mean, TikTok is pretty much where it's at right now, and I think that even though that TikTok is making songs not have as long of a lifespan, you know what I mean, with like hype, I feel like it's helping people get a step in the industry, like a step through the door of these connections that the industry has. So I find it as like a alternate route that people are slowly starting to hop on.
Yeah, so you mentioned TikTok. Do you see TikTok having a long-term effect on the music industry?
Yeah. I mean, it's already made like a lot of artists and blown up a lot of songs, like Lil Nas X, 24K Golden, all those people, like they've made careers off of this. And I mean, everybody strives to be the best as an artist at some point, but if you can live comfortably off of music, I think you win. I think you're winning. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if TikTok can bring that, then long term, I think it's fine. I think it's great. So it's like really new, but not at the same time. So it's just a lot of experimenting with it.
Talking about experiments, what do you think has been your most rewarding experiment that you've done?
Like something I tried out, and then like in the end I was like, hey, okay. Honestly, the styles that I've been making is like something that I've found the most fun in, and I've gotten the most enjoyment out of. After I made that one MGK cover to Paper Cuts, my friend suggested it to me, and I was like, okay, I haven't heard the song yet, but I'll listen to it. And I listened to it, and I was like, oh, well, I'll try it, I'll see what happens. And after I did it, I was like, oh, alright, maybe I should do a little more than just rapping. So, I mean, experimenting like that is pretty much where I found most enjoyment, was with my sound.
Yeah, so if there's any of you guys watching here that are trying to get like Conley and are trying to like improve yourself every day and like put in all this work, Mr. Conley, do you have any like words of advice for people that are trying to get to where you are?
I'm gonna tell everybody that's watching this what I've been told in interviews and like documentaries and vlogs. Quiet out all the noise outside of your thought and just do what makes you happy, and just do things with an open mind. Yeah. Because if you are trying to make something to please others instead of make something to please you, then you're never gonna win. So. always go with the open mind, and yeah, don't listen to what others have to say if they're not bringing any good energy.
Yeah.
So that's why I got you, my boy. You always got good energy.
Well, that's all the questions I have here. Y'all can ask Mr. Conley some more questions in the comments section.
Yeah.
And yes, sir.
Yeah.
Do you have any final words on JackPsd?
You know, it is a very cliche thing to say as a artist, but things are on the way. Things are on the way. All right. That's pretty much all I gotta say.
That's awesome.
But
Be ready.
Yeah, be ready. It's been a pleasure being on here. This is just a typical night for me and Jack, just hanging in the cord. But yeah, this is a pleasure. So I'm glad I was able to talk, answer some questions, and I mean, give people a different side of me that they might have seen or might not have seen, or something they might have needed to hear. So
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time. I mean, I know we always call like every night. Like this man's my brother.
brother.
Well, I will catch you guys later, and I'll have all Conley's information linked in the description. You know the drill. Yes, sir. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy JackPsd, and we peace it out.
Not okay. Over the stars on the roof in candy paint. Float away.